The women on the panel today exemplify excellence in everything they do and the success they've achieved, and so we're delighted to honor them and to get to hear what they have to say. And we're also a firm that's deeply committed to diversity in the workplace, not just in law firms, but generally. And in our case, we achieve that through a number of initiatives, including a women's advisory board that helps advise firm leadership on things we can do to promote and retain women, and also a leadership academy that meets every now and then to bring our women attorneys and alumni and clients together to strategize about what we do to move forward. So I personally am very excited to be here to hear about these women's successes and what they've done and the success they've achieved really on their own terms. So I will leave it at that and turn it over to our moderator, and thank you again so much for letting us sponsor the event.
Carla Christopherson, who is going to join us later from Albany, lives Women's Leadership and Diversity. She's managing partner of Albany. She has been co-owner with Kathy of the LA Sparks, the best women's basketball team in the world. And she was Miss Beauty Queen Pageant for, was it Minnesota?
I think it was that she graduated from Yale Law School.
Oh. I wanted to ask a Broad Circle advisory member to come up here and talk to us a little bit. Thank you to all the women in the room who serve on the Broad Circle Advisory Board. While I'm the founder, it's not something I do all by myself. I really rely on the great advisory board. Thank you very much, those of you who serve on the Broad Circle Advisory Board. And Tracy is one of the original bottom line broads with Broad Circle. My dear friend who's been with me slugging it out for the last 4 years. She's also the new chair of our Broad Circle Communications Committee. So thank you, Tracy.
We just keep working harder in this economy, don't we? Another new job. But I started my company, Olmsted Williams Communications, Public Relations Agency in Westwood at the same time Broad Circle was started. So it was kind of great, and I am very honored to be working with Daria and all of the remarkable women who have come in as speakers and members. So this has been a wonderful opportunity for me. One of the things that we've talked a lot through Broad Circle over the past 4 years is our message. And a lot of our friends, particularly men, husbands, business associates, sometimes cringe at the idea of money and power for women. There's this thought that that's kind of untoward, maybe a little callous, a little unladylike. And so we've embraced it even stronger. So we are really all about money and power for women. And in our club, we are not afraid to talk about money. We're not afraid to talk about gaining power. One of the biggest messages that I want to keep talking about is we are the women, this group, all of us have bottom line responsibility. That's kind of the unique differentiation to Broad Circle. We all have bottom responsibility. Professional service providers, lawyers, and accountants, generations past, all of that business was brought in by the senior partners and the young people did the work. Now you have the responsibility to go out and do business development, generate business, generate matters. Same thing for the accounting firms. So no matter what you are, bankers, investment bankers, they have to build assets under management, just like the ladies here in these companies have to build their customer base. So no matter where we are right now, we have to build ourselves. For the young women in the audience, their customers themselves. It's you, and you've got to build yourself. So that's the product you have to sell, and we're all selling ourselves at this point. But at this, almost everyone in this room, we have to create a certain dollar value every year to make the machine work, to pay our employees, to pay our overhead. So that's a really powerful differentiation from people who are kind of just doing work. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's a worry that keeps us up at night, and it makes us fierce, and it makes us need to not be afraid to talk about money and power. So I feel that the power is in this room, that we have built not only this network of Broad Circle in the last 5 years, it's certainly benefited me. I know that in this group, I've met people over the years that I've come to know and respect and admire and have tremendous backgrounds to offer. As a result of that, I myself have referred a lot of business to lawyers and accountants, all kinds of folks here. So if I look at what I've been able to refer because I get to know you, that's a lot of revenue. And this is happening throughout Broad Circle. And we want to know more about that. So now that I'm doing this communications training, anybody who has a story to tell, we want to hear about it. We want to hear about a referral you've made or a referral that you've gotten. One of the things that we want to talk about is there's a tendency for women to be wimpy referrers. And this is actually Daria's term, and I really like it because it's true. Women will say, well, no, it's true. We talked about our colleagues, people we know and we respect, and women have a tendency to say, well, you know, if it's a lawyer or an accountant, no offense to any of the lawyers or accountants in the room, they want to, because of legal reasons, they want to say, well, I'll give you a few different people, then you can meet with them and you can decide. That's wrong. We have to refer with passion. We have to refer the people with the same way we refer a book. We're not afraid to say, oh my God, I just read the greatest book. Or a film, or a show, or a restaurant. You've got to go there. Men have a tendency to do that, and for some reason, there's a little bit of a reticence among women. And when you are about money and power for women, and you have to build your bottom line, I am going to say, you better hire Katherine Blair to work on your deal for your company, or you're a fool. Here's why, and I've got 3 backup reasons why she is fantastic, because I know her business. The self-interest involved, and that's something we need to remember, is that the self-interest it comes around. Maybe not from that person, and that's not why we do it. We do it because it makes us look smart to our clients. It's good to know good people. It's good to have all of these contacts in our pocket so that we can pull them out and say, oh, I've got 5 people for you that are fantastic. In 3 conversations tonight, including with this lovely lady here, she goes, oh, I know a PR firm for a woman who wants business to consumer. It was perfect. And that's what we should all be doing, and we should be doing it with passion and rigor, and it will come back. And if it doesn't, and somebody doesn't say thank you, and that happens all the time, just remember, all you have to do is a quick email to that woman or to that man and say, it's okay, you don't need to thank me. Someday I will come to you with a favor you will not refuse. I now use that line all the time, and it's amazing how that impacts people. So,
all of our panelists' bios are here, but we're going to be treated to them telling us who they are in the next bit. Thank you, panel. Excited to hear what you have to say.
My name is Alli Webb, and I am the founder of Drybar, and we are a blow dry bar where all we focus on are blowouts. We've been in business for about 2.5 years, and we will have revenue of $20 million in 2012. It's been a good 2 years. And we have almost 150,000 clients to date, 14 locations throughout California, Dallas, New York City, Atlanta, and Arizona. We are on pace to have between 22 and 24 new locations in 2012, and we proudly employ about 600 people, so very proud of that.
And let us know if you believe that there was any gender bias during that process.
Yeah, so my timing was certainly not perfect for fundraising. I, a little bit like Kathy, was frustrated with my current job. I saw opportunities in the market that weren't getting executed on. I saw management making poor decisions. And I've raised almost $5 million of capital to date. So if any of you have questions about raising money, especially in a down economy, I'd be happy to talk about my adventures in fundraising. Yeah, I'm based here in LA, and I'm soon to be a mom. I'm just the pregnant one, not walking around. I'm Goodman. I teach high school English at a public charter school in the Valley, but I'm pretty sure that's not why I'm on the panel. I'm one of the owners of the Los Angeles Sparks, the best WNBA team that hasn't won a championship in 10 years. But really this summer, seriously. We need Candace to stay healthy. Prior to teaching, I helped found an independent film company called Intermediate Films with some colleagues of mine that we eventually took public on the German stock exchange. And there are several other jobs I've also quit in my past. So I'll talk about any of that.
I've also been involved in a lot of money raising and being part of a roadshow that took a company public. I think no one can estimate the amount of emotional and physical work it takes to raise money. And if you are supporting friends of yours that are going through this process, if you are going through this process, reach out, because it is an emotional roller coaster, and everybody gets to have an opinion about what you do. And when you run a publicly held company, before there was social commerce, there was something called a message board, where people got to comment on everything you did and everything you did in a company. And if there was a shareholders meeting and they didn't like what you wore, you got to hear about that too, because I wasn't in a men's suit and tie. So it's very interesting. But the part that goes beyond that, and the part of who your partners are, also teaches you different business disciplines that I believe is very, very crucial. When you come out of entrepreneurial environments and you then make the next leap to either having a great banking relationship or being very communicative with the people on your board, you learn business disciplines. You eat and live and breathe by your numbers. There are no excuses. You have a plan. You either are going to make your plan or you need to change your plan and communicate it accordingly. So the flip side of that is it can teach you some really, really good discipline that you might not have in any other way. Alli, you've got a different kind of challenge than a lot of us. You employ a lot of people. And I think everybody, no matter what business you're in, is attracting talent's a big thing. I know, Donna, you were talking to us a little bit when we all met for lunch about how your number 2 position was really important and how you felt once you hired that person.
Yeah, I have, I decided to start a business just because I saw a need in the world and had no business skills whatsoever. And along the way, because I've had so much fear and concern about trusting people to keep my message pure, basically, I really have done it very much alone. I have at times trusted people because and basically my nature was too naive, and those few times that I trusted people to come in and take over more control of the business, I really got burned, and so that I just pulled more and more away from all that. A couple of years ago, I hired somebody, actually hired him to do writing more than anything else, but he immediately, the second I hired him, began to see where the holes were in the dam, and he kept, clearly pointing them out. I needed to, but I just had the funniest feeling I needed to put him in, take him out of writing position and put him literally in the position of president. It was one of the smartest things I've ever done. Everyone in my company they're all young. They're all in their 30s. He's in his mid-30s. We have so much wisdom, and what I love about them is that we don't do this work just for the money. We do it because we make a huge difference in the world, and they know that. That's what we have tremendous harmony among everyone in our company. No one has any ego. We just have a job to do. And finally, it's taken me a long time to find somebody that I can trust, but I've trusted